I'm going to do an intro first, and then we'll go. So you'll hear me do it, and then I'll say your name, and then everything will be hunky-dory.
Sounds good.
All right, we're just waiting for YouTube to kick in here. Stream Healthy's good. All right. And... Welcome to Between Two Jerseys, episode 127. I am your host, creator, executive producer, and as you can see with our camera pointing outside for the weather, I thought we'd add that for you guys. It is terrible outside, so Jake Beckett is staying warm at home and cozy, which is perfectly fine. On the phone, though, I have Rob Kottman, who is the GM of the Grand Rapids Danger of the North American Basketball League. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, Ethan.
So, for the fans listening at home, why don't you give us a bit of an overview of what your role is with the Grand Rapids Danger, as well what you do for basketball in the NABL?
So, my job as a general manager of the Grand Rapids Danger is help facilitate the ability for athletes to get overseas and find their home, whether that will be through digital media, print media, word of mouth. We do all that for the Danger.
Oh, sorry, that was my mistake.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just hit a button. My mistake.
Oh, okay. So we focus on getting the players overseas, getting them to the next step in their career as basketball players and as people. We have focused really hardcore on our community engagement as well. I know you had Albert from Du Bois, who is one of the greatest people that you've ever met in the community. He is something that our whole league has a standard about, and we want to continue his path and continue our dream of giving these guys an opportunity to be at the NBA level or be a top-tier overseas import player, sort of like the owner Alan Durham is of the Grand Rapids Danger.
Okay, so for some of the fans listening at home, as well as myself, this is one of the things that attracted me to the NABL. So for me, what really brought me to this league and how you guys operate is that you're not afraid, nor do you shy away from helping guys showcase themselves and get overseas. Now, explaining that was perfect in how you worded it, how you don't hesitate in getting guys to try and have contracts. Why is it you feel this is the proper opportunity and the proper way of going about running a team and running a league?
Well, first off, we have a passion to make sure that our guys are taken care of first and foremost, and their families. A lot of the guys that we've had 3 or 4 for now our 4th year in existence as a team. So there's been 3 or 4 of them that played every single year for us. They're really passionate about taking care of stuff at home. But we also have guys that come from a Division II and Division III school that, once they're done, they don't know what to do. They don't have anyone to sit there and be like, hey, this is what you got to do, because the top-tier agents want the top-tier players, and the top-tier players only come from D1 schools. Rarely you see a D2 guy get picked in the draft. And you got to think that there's only 64 picks in the NBA draft that they pick from out of thousands and thousands of players that are throughout the entire college ranks just in the United States. That also doesn't include the Canadian players. That doesn't include the Mexican players or the people from Central and South America that are really great. And then you look over in Europe where the European players, they have an outlet. They have a 3 to 4 tier leagues that you can go from the bottom and work your way up throughout your whole entire life. And that's what we're trying to do here with the NABL, is to be able to provide that, be the best showcase for these guys. It may take them 2 years to get out of the NABL, but at the same time, that after that second year, they're transitioned to a better, smarter, athletic individual who can go and tear it up as an import in one of those countries.
Exactly. And to be honest, I like your point how for players getting drafted, it's very difficult. There's the European camps. There is the pre-draft camps. There is a lot of talent that presents itself to the NBA. And there's a lot of guys that might get slipped through the cracks just because of there's so many big names to look at first, unfortunately. And I appreciate how this level is working because from talking with the DuBois Dream owner, Albert Veracolo, now that I know how to say his name, I got to say it a bunch. He did a great job of explaining how he would love to see it similar to baseball. And I'd love your thoughts on this. And I think I already know your answer. But anyways, he would love to see it of the NBA, the G League, and then have a feeder system to the G League just because of how much talent is getting brought into the G League now.
Yeah, it goes back to the European tier system. You go over into those big leagues that are over there. They have a 3-tier system to get out into the public eye. I mean, there's a bunch of NBA athletes that came from those systems, and they spent all their life from grade school all the way up to the top tier professional leagues over there in Europe, where they spend it with one organization. They spend it with one team. They went strictly only to their team camps. They went only strictly to their scouting combines, and then they were able to move all the way up. And it's amazing. It's awesome to see. And the same with those imports. Most of those teams have a cap on imports because they don't want American style basketball to flood everything, and then those guys get drawn out. So it's kind of keep guys at home as long as we can, and obviously they're going to follow the money. That's why there's so much money into their leagues over there. I mean, it's an impressive feat to see that the sponsorship dollars and the revenue go to those leagues, and that's what we want to bring here to the United States and to America. Not just for a states league, but maybe one day Canada will be included into it, or maybe one day we'll have a better relationships with the South American and Mexican basketball leagues, and that way we can go and work on that partnership and maybe be able to blossom a group out of that. Get up in the NBA. I mean, the whole goal of the guys seeing the money in the NBA think that they can go to a rec league and that they're going to be that good. And we want to teach them still the fundamentals of basketball as well as making sure that they're showcased.
And I agree. I agree that you don't want guys just going into men's leagues and then after a year or two of playing in a men's league not having anywhere to play, going, well, screw this. This is not interesting for me. Playing in men's leagues can be very disheartening in that you'll have guys who are there who don't care whatsoever, and you'll have guys who are there who are like, I really am trying to do something with this. There's no unfortunately, there's no in between, and I think that's something the semi-pro leagues like this NABL, who are trying to transition into professional leagues, are going to thrive and are going to have a bigger exposure now that, which we're going to segue into here, is the quality and the streaming ability that you can have now with a very good quality desktop or laptop computer. And now you guys can start building film for players, and now you guys can start going out to GMs and reaching out to international scouts and saying, hey, check this player out, check this guy out. He's got some real good talent. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just graduated college a year ago in December, so, not knowing any of that and to be in a role that I am now, it's very important. You see these guys that are out there that get a viral hit and then all of a sudden that they flake out after a year. I mean, you don't see some of the big guys that played in AAU besides Zion and RJ and LaMelo. I mean, you see all those guys because their media presence is such out there. People want to go and see Zion go and dunk it on some guy nearly weighing 300 pounds. And
so true.
And we have guys in this league that are not 300 pounds by any means that can dunk like that. But But they are. We had a guy. I met my first 7-foot tall guy, and Adam Rayner last year, who was on the team, and the pure athleticism you have to be when you're 7 foot tall, not only to play basketball but to do everything else in daily life, is crazy. And obviously, I can't give enough on how awesome Adam is as a person and how good he is in the community. Because every team has their players that are like that. Every team, these guys are working class guys that their second job is to play basketball, and their first job is their day job. They have to make ends meet first, and then here we are helping them succeed in their basketball career. And communication side is very, very important in my daily aspect of life. I mean, I spend 5 to 6 hours a day working on stuff to make sure that we can get them seen, finding sponsors to run promotional ads with them. And, I mean, I can't say too much about what we're going to do with the Danger this year, but we have a big opportunity in the community to make sure that these guys are well taken care of. But it all starts at home, and it all starts with the community, and then they have to do their part, and we do our part. And showcasing them is a big part of what I have to do on a daily basis.
That's very interesting, and now I want to know, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what the Danger have in store. But my question is then, with all this talk of the NBL, we're getting into it like you already know the place. How did you get your first break in with the NABL, and how did you first hear about this league?
I don't like to badmouth anyone. We played in the ABA. Mm-hmm. The Danger had really good success in the first 2 years that we were in the ABA. I believe the first year that Allen had the team, which I wasn't a part of, they made it to the postseason. They went very far. And one of our fellow teams, the Lake Michigan Lakehawks, which was about 45 minutes away from Grand Rapids in Muskegon, they were also in our league. And we left for the NABL for one simple reason. We wanted a more professional-looking league. We wanted a league that can provide a stability. We wanted no gimmicks, and we wanted a more, like I said before, a more professional style. We wanted, team ownerships to be something of themselves, to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and make sure that we're not playing out of a rec league gym. We're playing out of at least a college venue. And that's important. I mean, perception is everything with this league, and we're not trying to go out there and fill out a 10,000 seat capacity stadium, because that's not obtainable at this moment in time for us. I mean,
I like that.
No one in semi-league professional basketball is going to ever do that, and if they say they have one, it's probably not true, unless they're really good at marketing and they got some sort of
I agree,
ticket deal going on.
Yeah, that's hard, because you're going to have to give a lot of free tickets away, or the only way I could see it feasible is if the NABL chose to do like an all-star weekend in a final. Let's say they did the finals in an all-star weekend all at one venue, but that would still be very difficult to orchestrate, right?
Yeah, the nice thing is the championship series brings all these teams in together. We met a lot of cool teams. I went down to Atlanta to scout the league with the former GM, Chris Giles, and we sat there, we talked when we were in one of the owners' meetings, and we're like, this is the league for us. This is the league that's going to expand our reach as a team and give these guys an opportunity. And we've seen it. The last year was an excellent opportunity to showcase that. We had teams from all over United States. We had Jamestown Jackals, which is a northern New York team. We had the Grand Rapids Danger, Tuscaloosa Titans, and then we had a team down in Dallas. And the reception was big. We had the best basketball I've seen at the semi-pro level at that tournament last year. Jamestown had some really big bruisers that are on their team that help power them through to get them to the finals against a tough Tuscaloosa team, and then Dallas, the Dallas Mustangs last year had a really good team as well. They could shoot the ball, and then we came up short, and as well as Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa down there in Alabama, they're going to be a team this year. I'm going to say it right here. They're going to be a team this year that is going to surprise everybody, even though they did so well last year. Those guys, Jalen Pruitt does a really good job down there. He makes those guys work for their wins and makes them not rest. And they had some battles last year. They had some injuries last year, and I think this year if somebody's going to watch, I would highly recommend going watch. If you're going to watch any game this year, watch a game against the Tuscaloosa Titans, and they're a really good team.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I like the sell point there. And Tuscaloosa is a really good basketball market, isn't it?
It's they get a lot of draw from the University of Alabama, which obviously that town is controlled by that university. So we went down there and we played a game against them. It was awesome. The hospitality was wonderful. We enjoyed our time down there. After the game, they wanted to sit down and chat. They wanted to, pick our brain on some things, and obviously we wanted to do the same with them. And, that's why we have these partnerships. We went down there. Now they're going to come up to Grand Rapids for us in one of the later part, actually our last regular season game. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and I hope it's a good game from both standpoints, and I hope it's a challenge you win for us.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome time. I mean,
damn.
Like I said, they work hard down there. I'm also the one of the guys that makes sure that the media compliance for the league is make sure that everybody's doing some sort of social media or something like that. I check up on them to make sure that they're not doing anything bad or they're not doing anything. And Kentucky's doing a really good job. I mean, these teams are taking that challenge and never have to do this before and molding it into their own. And I can't say enough about this league and the teams that we have. The teams that want to do well are showing themselves that they are out there in the community and that they're holding training camps, they're holding tryouts, and they're publicizing it. It's going to be a great year, Ethan. You picked a great year to join us.
Bam. I like it, too. You guys picked a great year to have me on. I just figured out, I can't wait till you see this. I'm going to add in, next time we do it, I'm going to add in the NABL and all the other logos. I just figured out while we're doing a live stream, I've got 4 different cameras going, but on the bottom and in between, there's a loop of 3 of my logos for the show. And I just wanted to see how it was responding on camera. But for next time, I hope you're going to really like it. I'm really looking forward to some of the testing the abilities of my video editing skills and seeing where it can go, because I really like the potential here. I really like how when I was watching some of the showcase for the Du Bois Dream they had a couple weeks ago, Albert had a drone camera going around, and whomever was operating that drone was as smooth as glass. Either that was a really good drone or a really good operator. I'm going to give credit to both. And yeah, I couldn't believe how well smooth it looked, and I can't believe how receptive and how interested you guys are in listening to some ideas about dreaming big and potential markets, as well as you guys are willing to listen to seeing where you think this league can go. And the question I want to ask you really quick is, because we're getting around 20 minutes here, holy moly. The question I want to ask you here is, as the social media, can I say you're the social media coordinator for the league?
Yeah, I mean, I sit there and I monitor it all. I mean, I don't post everything myself. There's a whole bunch of people that help me out with that, but go right ahead. What's your question?
So what is it you have right now? It's a 2-parter. So what is it right now that is your standard, and where do you want your standard to be in 3 years and in 5 years?
Our standard is to be able to showcase what we do every day. We obviously know that the teams that we have right now, like I said before, not all of us have that ability or that knowledge. What we talked about before the show is the knowledge of understanding all of this. I had no experience in doing live video or doing graphics or even, marketing and social media. I mean, that stuff in itself, it's its own category. It's its own degree now in some universities.
It is. Yeah.
and those guys and ladies and that come out of universities that sit there and that's all they do. I mean, they get picked up by big businesses. They get picked up by Nike and Under Armour before they even get out of college, and it's hard to really grab those people and, hey, let's go sit you in a league where you're not right now. You're going to make a whole lot of money, but in 3 to 5 years, hopefully we can get sponsorship deals from the big companies. Get sponsorship deals from either Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, all those guys to see how well we can do. I mean, Under Armour sponsors AAU. I mean, those kids can't even take any money until they get out of college.
It's true. It's very true.
And those kids get free jerseys. They get sneakers. There was a whole show about, a whole movie about basically the black market of shoe sponsorships and all that kind of stuff at AAU level.
Oh yeah, so they can try and get them when they're in the NBA, and they can go, "Oh, remember me? We were sponsoring your AAU team from when you were 10 years old." "Oh, really? I loved Adidas." "Oh, no way. You've only worn them, huh?"
and those colleges that recruited those kids got in trouble. Like, I mean, I remember Arizona getting penalized for it. Louisville got penalized for it. I mean, we have no restrictions on that. So if a guy that has raw talent and they're seen, it's huge for the league. It's huge for themselves. I mean, better yet, it's huge for the player. I mean,
oh yeah,
and that's what we do it for. I mean, we do everything for the players. So my 3-year plan is to see more athletes go overseas or get G League opportunities. In 5 years, we want that feeder system. We want that ability to sit there and say, hey, we got 5 or 6 scouts throughout our league that know of a team that needs somebody tomorrow, and somebody is going to buy out our contract for that player to send them overseas or in a G League contract.
It's true. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I like that, because if you look at the way, I keep looking at how the way Major League Baseball is set up, and it's the same principle. There will be guys who will be down in the single A who you're like, oh, you don't know who this player is? For instance, one guy who pops right into my head, Raul Ibanez. Raul Ibanez played 10 years in the minor leagues, and he was like 32 years old, 33 years old before he broke into the majors. And he had a very successful career, albeit a short one, but he still was able to he could, in a different world, in a different time, he would have just had to have given up at the age of like 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And I know that firsthand. When I did my internship at a baseball team from the Frontier League, they had guys in the past where, they got bought out of their contract with the team, and they moved up to single A, and then by the end of the year, they're up at triple A, and, that's the fluctuating cycle that we want. Obviously, smaller markets are going to have a hard time bringing guys in. They don't have nearly, take Grand Rapids, for example. We have 6 or 8 universities and colleges within the city of Grand Rapids, on top of having one of the best D2 schools at Ferris State. I mean, they went to this national championship for basketball, or they went very far in that tournament. Mm-hmm. And it's, it's one of those things that you never really comprehend on where those guys go. They go to the job that they went to school for, and some are really good ball players, and they just don't get that opportunity.
Oh, I agree. And having a chance to go and display your skills and your talent on this level is easily a better option than just playing in a men's league, isn't it?
Yeah, men's league is a really, really big deterrent sometimes for teams. I mean, we had tryouts a couple weeks ago, and we wanted to see that teamwork, that style of basketball that you only can find in colleges and universities, or if they were on the same AAU team for 4 or 5 years, we wanted to see that ability out of them. I mean, you look at a rec league, and you can shoot threes all day long, and that's not going to get you a contract anywhere. I mean,
No.
And depending on what rules there are, you might have a really good men's rec league, but there might be another rec league that's not very good. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you don't get to market yourself. There's a whole bunch of factors. We want to see those guys with that teamwork skill already built in, that they're not there by themselves, and that's what we kind of think rec league is, if that makes any sense at all.
No, that does make sense. And one of the final things I would like to go off of is we've talked a lot about the NABL, we've talked a lot about the Grand Rapids Danger, but what I really would like some of the fans to know is what are some of your interests outside of basketball? What do you do for fun? Do you play video games? Do you go to the gym? What's your interests?
Well, currently I have a full-time job, so that takes up a big chunk of my interest time. But I actually started to read a lot more about social media. I learned a lot about marketing outside of even my degree. I mean, I didn't have any aspirations to know any of that, and it's a big part of the business.
Oh.
I'd like to do graphical work. If you go on our website, the Grand Rapids Danger or dangerbasketball.com, you'll see our schedule. I learned how to set up a website in dangerbasketball.com. And, I spend a lot of time on my computer. Too much that I should admit, but it's, that kind of life is expected now. I like watching any type of sports. Never would I have thought that I would be a GM of a basketball team. I was a wrestler in high school, and a football player, and I thought I was going to be in the NFL or in professional baseball, not in basketball at all. Didn't even think about it. And then this opportunity came up, and I haven't looked back since.
Oh, damn. That's pretty cool. Okay, so where did you graduate from school from, by the way, on the last note?
I graduated from Western Michigan with a Bachelor's of Science in Sports Management, and my minor is Communication.
Oh, I like that. So you're a very good resource for this league and moving forward, aren't you? Well, you don't mean to toot your own horn, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, my first full year as a GM, I facilitated a rebranding of our logo and our colors for the team, as well as implemented a more sponsorship-based web live stream. If you go to any of our games on our Facebook page last year, you'll see that we incorporated a scoreboard in most of them. I can't say all of them, but most of them. If you go to the NABL website, I actually worked with Ken Buckner, who was the announcer last year for the championship series. He did the announcing, and I did all of the graphical work and camera work for the championship series last year, and that is on the North American Basketball League's Facebook page in one of the videos.
That's very impressive. I guess we'll have to get everyone to go check your workout. So once again, where can everyone find the league, and where can they find the games played as well? Where can they find the Grand Rapids Danger information?
So you can find the Grand Rapids Danger information on dangerbasketball.com. Ooh. You can also follow the Grand Rapids Danger on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as the Grand Rapids Danger Basketball Club. A long name. But that's where you can find us. You can also find the league at the North American Basketball League.com, as well as on all the other platforms too: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Oh, I think, am I missing one?
Any other form of social media, you guys are on it, aren't you?
What was that? Any social media we're on, yeah.
Bam. Just search up the North American Basketball League. That's how I do it for me, too, because everyone, oh, are you on this? Yes. Are you? Yes. Just search up Between Two Jerseys. It'll be easier that way, and then I'll let you know if we don't have it.
And the funny thing is with we streamed all of games live to Facebook, or excuse me, live to YouTube when I first started, because that's the only way I thought that was going to be, a better viewership. We actually found out that with our Facebook, we get more viewers and consistent viewers because it's a lot easier to find.
Yes, so that's what we're doing right now. Is I'm tweaking going in between Facebook Live and YouTube Live. The only reason I'm going into YouTube Live is because I'll give you a little bit of an insight as to where the next stage is for Between Two Jerseys here. We are going to be going on an Android box. You know what the Android boxes are? Those they're not illegal, but they stream TV channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be getting onto a channel on it's called Gizmo TV. They're one of our sponsors, and we're going to be looking into getting our own channel. And also, as a bit of a tidbit, we're going to be giving you guys your own channel too once we start ironing out all the details in the crinks, because that's what we're doing right now.
Perfect. That sounds fun. I'm excited for that stuff for us.
And the reason being behind it is, and let me know your thoughts, is I love the response you get on Facebook. I love the views you get. YouTube does a good job too, but you're right. You do get more engagement and more reoccurring fans. But one of the things I'm a big pet peeve about is 3-second views and 10-second views. I don't like that. It's an unfortunate viewership. So one of the ways I felt to combat that and to adjust and to adapt to it is I felt a lot of fans can check out the show for about 5 or 10 minutes, and they don't really have the time nor the battery power to be able to sit down for the whole thing and just watch it. But if it's on an Android box, you can, because not everyone has a Chromecast. Even though you do have the ability to Chromecast this podcast, not everyone has it. So that's that's where I thought it would work, is going onto an Android box and having the ability for people to if they want to sit down and watch, they can sit down and watch. Oh boy.
Perfect. I know what I'm doing on my Saturday.
Oh boy, this is cool. But yeah, so I'll keep you more in the loop with that once we get it all figured out. And yeah, I really appreciate your time, Rob, and we're going to have you on again really, really soon.
Thank you very much, Ethan. Have a great night.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for calling. And yeah, once again, we're going to find you at dangerbasketball.com, correct?
Correct, yep.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
All right, see you, Ethan.
All right, bye. Dude, that was Rob Cotman. He is the general manager of the Grand Rapids Danger. And I'm sorry about that that screen. I was trying to show the weather, and I'm trying to put light on it, but it's not working. Either way, you guys could go back earlier and see where it's at. It's just the parking lot where my window is. I thought you could see better. I'll figure it out. Charlie is right here right now saying hello. I know, Charles. Hi. Anyways, that was the show for today. That was Rob Cotman once again. Check us out on Between Two Jerseys. That's b2j.online to get latest updates on whom we're going to be interviewing and the questions we will be asking. So if you're, for instance, earlier on today, once we just started up, just a fresh website. Earlier on today, we posted what we were going to be talking with Rob Cotman about and some of the stuff we were going to go over. As well, I gave my opinion on what's going on with Anthony Davis, and you can go check it out. Anyways, that was our show today. It's brought to you by Intercore Health, located at 500 Oxford Street. You're going to see their logo popped up on the screen there, repeating a bunch. Perennial Landscapings as well, and you're going to see there's numbers of 519-532-0076. That's for Perennial Landscaping. But you're going to see Blessed Hands. You're going to see some Blessed Hands up there, and they're located at 1080 Adelaide Street, and you can see them at 645-0101. Anyways, that's the show for today. Everybody have themselves a wonderful day, and Charlie, thank you for meowing.